love all of you and appreciate you. It was a very, very big effort for all of us to come here. You don't know what it means to me. I will forever remember this. Thank you so much on behalf of Pamela. It's a little emotional for me, but this is going to give me closure. This is the final end. It took me almost a couple of years to be able to part with these things. And then finally I said, you know, the time is right. I have to do it sometime. And I'm ready to do it and let it go. I do want to say that this is not the first, for those of you who are not sure, but this is not the first place. And the reason why we're here, a couple of miles down the road, there's a place called the Trenton Bridge Lobster Pound. When we first went there, she absolutely loved it, as I did. When we came out of the lobster pound after eating our lobsters, we started to get in the car and we both heard a stream flowing, water. Pamela said, "What's that?" I said, "Yeah, it sounds like water." And she says, "Let's take a look." So we both were able to walk over to the edge of the parking lot, and there's a downfall, a little bit of an incline, and at the end was a beautiful stream flowing out into the Atlantic Ocean. And she just looked at it, and behind that was beautiful woods, trees, just a lot. But it struck her so much that the very first thing she said when we saw it, she looked at me, and I thought she was kidding, but she said, "Wow." She says, "This is, when I die, this is where I want my ashes spread." And I took it half-heartedly. I said, "Yeah, it's beautiful, yeah, okay." But we never thought about it, and we always thought that I would die first. But we came up here 8, maybe 10 times every summer in the years after that. And we always went to the Trenton Bridge. And after we ate our lobsters, we did the same routine. We walked to the edge because she wanted to see it. And then she started getting more serious. And she said, "Remember, if I die first, I want my ashes spread right here in this beautiful area right beside the lobster pound." So now what happened was yesterday with Shelly and Mitchell, and they went there, they got here in the daylight. We had a little trouble getting here, so it was dark, but they went there, I went there, we took pictures, and the place has changed quite a bit since the last time I was here 20-something years ago. So what we decided to do is to have a plan B, because now that beautiful stream dried up. It's not even there anymore. In its place, there are branches and bushes and stuff that are about 3 feet high. And there's a little bit of an incline still there, but it doesn't look anything like what we saw. So the first thing I thought of doing, that's okay, we'll put it here anyway, this is what she wanted, because I think half the reason she wanted to be there is by this lobster pound, because we all know what a foodie Pamela was, and she would have loved that. But the other half of it was she loved the stream. So I thought about doing it, and Ray, who's having a little bit of a problem this morning, he came with us, but he's the one who suggested last night when we were having dinner, he said, "You know, just think of it this way," because I was having a hard time making a decision. And he said, "You know, the thing is, if Pamela was here today and she saw that, would she have wanted you to spread them there?" And that did it for me. That was the answer, that no, because it's all hedges, it's all wood, it's not in the water, and that kind of thing. So that's why then I thought about it, and this place. Now Pamela was never right at this spot, but if you look over there by the boats, and there's a dock, we did go out there. And we went through that place, and we took a boat ride, and so on. So that's the dock that we used. So I think she really wanted to be in the water. So this is the best thing alternative that we can do. So my cousin Richie, I asked him to bring a knife and we poked some holes in the box. So I'm not going to be able to spread anything because it's all going to blow away. So we're going to put the box in the water. Hopefully it'll sink, but we put a lot of holes in it so the ashes inside will permeate into the water. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for you being here. I got some of my very, very best friends here. Michelle Turk, Mitchell and Carolyn dancing a stewed Minutes. My friend Beth, who I haven't seen in so long, I'm so blessed. We got Pamela's brother here, Robert, my cousin Richard here, who came out also, met Robin for the celebration of life. My good friend Dominic, who I've known since college, big effort for him to come out here. Jen, I asked, and very special for her to come because she was working with us, became our friend over the years, means a lot to me. She was there for me so much. I appreciate you, Jen. After Pamela died, she made sure she came to my house every single day, for a week, and Pamela loved her. Jen loved Pamela. They had a special relationship. When I would start going crazy, Jen was the one who Pamela went to. I don't know if you know that, but I knew that. But Jen was the one who Pamela went to talk about me and how crazy I got sometimes. So that was a blessing for me. I knew that, and I was so glad that you were there for that. And then we have David here, who's Pamela's and finally my cousin Marianne here. We've been over to Marianne's house quite a few times. She lives in Connecticut, and Pamela and I love going there. We went to her house for block parties, we went there for dinner, family gatherings. So, should I shut up now and just get moving here? Does anybody have anything to say?
I just want to say one thing.
Please.
I love going out with Pamela. I love that she always came to the business. I always thought that was hysterical. She really, get in there with some good jabbing comments that always made me laugh. And she was a smart lady. She was cool. I loved talking to her about making soup. She was into soup making for a while when you lived on Long Island.
Yeah, she loved that.
And she was just a cool lady. I liked her.
I have to tell you one thing. When we went out for dinner with you guys, every once in a while, Beth and Stu, they didn't have a babysitter, or they wanted to bring their son, who was a young boy at the time. I don't know, 8, 10, maybe. And he was so well behaved. Every time we got back in our car after we left you guys, that was the first thing Pamela would say to me. Do you believe that kid, Matthew? He was so well behaved and smart, even as a child. When I would try to get him involved in the conversation, he would, not answer with just one-word letters, like how was school. It wasn't yes or no. He would say, yeah, my favorite teacher is this guy, and so on and so on. And we were just both impressed by him. And today he is an engineer, and he finished Cornell, right? So we're very proud of him, and I'm going to tell him that next time.
He loved you guys too.
Did he? 25. 25 years old. Wow. So that was like 15 years ago. So yeah. And we always talk as soon as we got in the car after we said goodbye to you guys. She would always be the first one. Wow. How about that kid? So it was really a very special thing. Anybody else like to say anything?
I always appreciated Pamela's very quick wit, and we always enjoyed making fun of you. But when we went out with you guys were both so gracious about bringing our kids sometimes, and Pamela always brought little toys for my kids. She always would get in time for that. It's so thoughtful. She always, every time we'd sit down, she'd pull out a bag and she'd have toys to keep my kids. Maybe she was worried they weren't going to behave, but she always thought it was so thoughtful. She always had toys for them.
First time I met Pamela, DJ had met her, John had met her about a week after we got married. And he came back all excited and he made plans for her to come to and John's mom wasn't around, so and he had to bring Pamela to see Aunt Julie. But he was afraid that Aunt Julie was going to kill him. So he says, he calls Carol and I up and says, I need you guys to come for dinner. Pamela's going to be Aunt Julie. I said, what do you need us for? He goes, I need a buffer. Because she's going to grill her and I can't handle it. She did fine. I never knew Pamela before she met Sean. But they found each other a little later than some other couples, but they filled each other's voids. They argued with each other. They did what they had to do together. They played together. They were each other's person. And, she I'm sure she never left. I'm sure when she left me, she never said I was well behaved.
Of course we had to grill her. What do you think? He comes home and he says he met a girl online before online was online.
The best is how you would call us up to referee. I can't think
And I
of how-
agreed with Pamela about the pie.
There
I
was-
still
there
agree
was
with
one
Pamela about the pie.
You guys definitely didn't have.
When they moved to, I'll
corruption
tell
of
this story.
stick with your friend.
I don't know if Pamela's brothers know this. When they moved to Putnam Valley,
we had to go to dinner
he
there.
wanted to have people to dinner, but Pamela didn't want too many persons. She wanted small groups that they were entertaining. And we went up there for a barbecue, and she made pie. She made 2 pies, and she was very, very proud of those. And we get there, and we're not shy people at the table. Anyway, when we left, we had done damage. It was probably a pie and a quarter were gone. When we come back, we drive back about 45 minutes. We get in the house, and the phone's ringing. You got to answer this question.
No, you have to settle something for us.
What?
There were 7/8 of the pie.
What happened? I was going downstairs. I said, Pamela, do you want a piece of pie? She says, no, I'll get one later.
No, she just said no.
no.
He came.
I'm defending Pete on that.
She comes.
Pamela.
Pamela came down about 10 minutes later, and the pie was gone. And she starts yelling. She says, what's going on? Where is it? He goes, I told you I was having a piece of pie. That was the piece. So the question was 7/8 of a pie one piece?
If it hadn't been cut.
Because it hadn't been cut. Thank you. So that was the argument.
So when they sided with Pamela, he called me. Told me the same story. And I too sided with Pamela on that one.
Those are my loyal friends.
How big was the piece exactly?
7/8 of a pie.
Show me how big.
Like a Pac-Man.
Like
It was
one
7/8
piece
of a
was
pie.
taken out,
7/8
and
of
the
a
rest
pie.
of the pie was left.
But if it's not cut, it's one piece.
I
Meanwhile,
don't know.
Don't let me down. Don't let me down.
I don't
You're
know.
family.
Knowing you, and knowing how you think about things like that,
The way you think.
I'd be like, well, if you know John, that was one piece.
yeah, I still make the pasta that night. I have her recipe
Oh,
down,
you do?
and I still make it.
I didn't know that. All right.
You ready, Pete?
Yeah, we've been suffering here long enough. Anybody else have anything to say though? Again, thank you so very much.
This is Arizona weather. It's trying to come.
Yeah.
Now I'm so correct.
Forget him with the cameras.
This is the final closure. We had our ups and downs, but I loved her, she loved me. I did the best I could to get her here. I'm sorry it's not the place, but the place that she loves is not the same. But
You know what? That place would have brought her here. Would have brought her right here anyway. Saved her a few steps.
all right, Pamela. This is what you want. Okay. Peaceful. This is good closure. Closure. It's closure. Glad that we were able to do this. Thank you all so very, very much again. Deeply indebted to you. Why don't we get out of this right now? Why don't we sit in our cars a few minutes and